Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. I don't know if anybody's watching. Sometimes it don't show me when people are watching. And so I never know. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. I don't think I'm able to comment. I was going to talk about something different, but I officially decided that I'm going to try to do everything we don't have a choice but to get in the love frequency. I'm going to talk about something else. I don't talk about this, though. I'm at the point where everything I see is a result of my shadow. It's all in my shadow. And I don't have a choice but to get into the love frequency. But a certain hertz, a certain amount of what you call megahertz type love frequency that I need to get into. I just don't have any other choice because things are not going to change until I literally raise my frequency. So certain things will not be allowed with me. I was listening to a live that Flurburn did with Black Magic 363 was interviewing Flurburn. And she talked about how during the eclipse last year, it was some astronomers that was looking during the eclipse too, some astronomers, and they saw that things was not happening the way they said on the media that things were supposed to be happening. And they saw it looked like these people were covering the sun. Whoever was saying this was a solar eclipse, they were actually just covering up the sun on their own. Man-made stuff. Here we go with the man-made technology. And then she said that shortly after that, a lot of people said that the sunflowers appeared to be facing away from the sun. Instead of towards the sun, the sunflowers were facing away from the sun. As if the sun was not even there. Okay? And then what else? A lot of people that usually go out in the sun and get a lot of vitamin D from the sun noticed that they were very vitamin D deficient. Because the sun wasn't there anymore. We think we see something that looked like a sun that's really just burning things, that's burning everybody. But it's not the real sun. We're really in darkness. Like they covered up the sun and we think that the sun is out, but it's really darkness. And that's why so much evil, it just becomes more and more evil because, well, I guess some people are witness to more and more evil. It depends on where you are in your own inner world, honestly, because I don't want to put them, make that timeline for everybody because everybody, and some people are at peace in their life. But even when you're at peace in your life, you are aware that other things are going on. Even in your own personal life, there's peace. Like your own personal bubble, there's peace. But you are aware that there's craziness going on in other, areas. But yeah, I said that's when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's enough. It's time to just really stop tolerating this. It's time to stop tolerating it. They cover up the sun. We don't have a real sun. I know they've been saying that the sun is a simulator, but I'm saying ever since but before April 4th of last year, 2024, nobody was complaining about being vitamin D deficient after being out in the sun. Okay, a lot of things changed after that so-called eclipse for the worst. Okay, they noticed a lot of people who like to plant and garden, they noticed a lot of the strange things happening with that, things aren't the same. Okay, so the sun is not the same anymore. It's almost as if you're in complete darkness. Now, I wonder if that's how it is for the United States, or is that for everywhere in the world? I wonder. Hello, people. I wonder if that's like that for everywhere. But I got to the point where I'm really sick of it. And I'm not against AI, but I feel like AI, the way these people are using it, AI is being used against human beings, right? So the way the AI is being used to destroy the human being. It's used to get rid of the spirit. It's used to separate you from your soul, or separate you from it's used to just separate you. So I don't like, in this case, I don't like the way AI is being used. And I know we use it every day because uh, especially in the United States of America, it's a huge dependency on AI. You can't function without AI, especially in the United States of America. You just cannot function without it. Okay. Now, when you learn to live off grid, which is, I already know that's what I need to do. You learn to live off grid where you don't use this stuff anymore. That's why I was talking about Green Bank, West Virginia, going there where Wi-Fi is banned. There's no cell towers. You can't even use a microwave because of that telescope they have out there. They don't want the radio waves to interfere with the telescope. And I wanted to just go out there for a few days, just to see what it's like to go a week without any of that stuff. Just get it all out. Just detox from all of it. Because it was a time, I was born during the time where we didn't use any of it. Now we can't function without it, but it was a time, some of us, it was a time that we didn't even have it. When I first learned how to drive, I didn't have a cell phone. The first cell phone I had was it looked like a big telephone that you put in your car. Like the telephone had a cord on it. That was the first cell phone. It looked like a big telephone with the cord attached to it. Okay, and that was the cell phone. We called it a car phone. You could not use it outside of your car. So it was a car phone. Okay, so and then after that, then we had the big box looking. It was like a box looking phone, you know. And then after that, the phones got smaller and smaller and stuff, and more, you know. But what I'm saying is, it was a time we were able to function without it, and now it seems like we can't function. We cannot function, especially in the United States of America. And it's really to our detriment, it seems like, because it's been used to destroy people. AI has been used to destroy people. Okay. But anyway, I just say that I don't have no choice. And here's what I'm gonna get to. Now I'm gonna get to where I'm getting to on that. I don't know if it's gonna be a friend to brown women. I feel like AI is I don't feel like it, I know. AI is programmed by man. And brown women have been a target for a very long time. And this isn't good. I don't want to be a part of this anymore, because I don't want to deal with. Well, I'll say this. I feel like as long as the Most High is your center, things, and here's the thing, that takes work. Okay, I can say you make the Most High your center, but that can take a lot of work. Especially, you have to be very consistent on working with it, and it might not be to the complete until 2 years from now. It really takes work, but you got to start from somewhere. You got to start from somewhere, you know. But this, I've come to the conclusion there is no choice but to raise my frequency. There's no choice but to get completely out of my shadow, or the ego, or the shadow. It's just no choice. I feel like brown women who basically stay in duality. Okay, because I'm not a master at this, but I'm going to say the way it's been given to me, and I've constantly been told to get out of duality. I feel like being in duality and on a lower frequency is just really, brown women are under attack. Brown women that's kind of beneath the love frequency are just going to be under attack. And that's why I say I don't have any choice but to get on love frequency. I don't have a choice. And that's all I keep seeing in my visions. Get on. Now, I do different things, but all I keep seeing is get on love frequency, because you got to work hard, right? I mean, you got to fast, you got to pray, you got to work so hard to make sure that you stay afloat when other people might not have to work that hard. The brown woman has to, I have to kick my spiritual game up about 10,000 times more than anybody else, because I already know. And that, we just can't, I can't stand duality. I need to get out of duality. Get out of duality. Now, and that's nothing, because I heard some brown women say that they need duality. If that's what they feel, that's fine. I think duality might work for some brown women. I've just been told, not by anybody else. I've been told, inner, like the inner voice is always telling me, get out of duality. And when I meditate, sometimes I see the black and white spirals with my eyes closed. Like, get out of that. That's duality. That's that stuff right there that's causing all this reality right here. That right there is causing this. Get out of it. You know. Yeah. But AI could be used to push propaganda of the right. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. You know what? I'm gonna show you something. Well, I read somebody's Facebook post yesterday. He's from Los Angeles, and he said, "Read it again. Let me see if I can find it." Hold on a second, and then I'm gonna get to my topic that I want to get to. Hold on a second. God dang it! Stop phone thing. Hello. I'm trying to hurry up before I don't want to take too long. Well, it's going to be too long before I get to it, and I don't want to have you holding waiting too long. Okay, Facebook. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Let's search all apps and see if I can get to it. Facebook. I might have to sign in. Oh, okay, I don't have Facebook. I don't have it on my tablet. See, I don't have these apps on my tablets and stuff because I don't log in. I mean, I've been a member of Facebook like since I don't know a while, but I don't ever log in. I don't look at anything. So now I gotta figure out how to do all of that and sign into my Facebook. And I probably forgot my password because I'm never on there. So anyway, but no, he was talking about, he lives in LA, and he was talking about, to all of the people who think there is a riot going on, there's nothing happening. They're pushing that stuff. United States media has a bad habit of only pushing the negative. The people, when I used to live in Los Angeles, I used to have family members, and not family members, but yeah, some maybe family members, but a lot of classmates would text me talking about, is everything okay over there? Is everything okay about that? I hear about stuff going on, and I'm like, I never know what's happening. Like, I live right in LA. You live, okay, like this main person that texts me, they lived in New York. Okay, they were living in Syracuse, New York. I'm in Los Angeles. She's texting me saying, is everything okay about that? I heard about what's going on. I said, girl, what's happening? You tell me something, because I'm right here in Los Angeles and I don't know what's going on. What you heard, child? I heard this and that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm right here on that street. I'm right here on the street that you say this stuff is happening. I'm right here on that street, and none of that is going on. I don't know what you're saying. Okay? You know? And that same thing happened when I went to Israel in 2007. All we hear about is unrest, all these wars and all this stuff, you know. I get to Israel, I go on a tour, right? It was over a week long. I believe it was 9 to 14 days. I think it was a 14-day tour. Went there. It was peace the whole time, peace. But you will never see on the news, United States news, where you can even see a whole week of peace in Israel. Around that time in 2007, you wouldn't even see where there was a whole week of peace. So my whole family was worried about me going out there, talking about, you're going out there in the middle of a war zone. You're going out there in the middle of a war zone. I get there, there's nothing happening. There was nothing but peace the whole time, but you would not see that on the news in the United States of America. I remember one time when Putin, this was years ago, this was like in 2000 when Obama was president, and Putin was trying to get the truth to the people of the United States of America. But he was like, I can't get the truth to them because the media lies to them so much that I cannot get the truth to them. Like, the United States media keeps people on a very low vibration. You know? But, okay, so I want to get to this, though. I was listening to somebody's video about, well, I was looking at somebody's live, right? And about how... you know, just struggling, it's a real thing to struggle financially. And it's hard not to have anybody. And sometimes we don't have anybody that we can lean on when things happen. Because even when you are a billionaire, things can happen where you might need somebody else. You need I don't care how well you might be doing at one point in your life, it could be another point in your life where you might be doing bad. And that's just how it is. That to me, that's how it goes in duality. That's just seem to be the way it goes. And so and you might need people that you can lean on. And when you're by yourself, that's very, very hard to do. So I was listening to the person live after she talked about how she made a deal and this company stole $1,000 from her because they took her deal. I don't understand how that works. And I was saying I understand how it works because I don't understand sales. It's not because I'm trying to criticize her. I just don't understand sales. And I wish I would have a number so I can call her. Okay. But because she had a call in to her and to discuss things. I want to say this though, because she was into sales, and I know that she's good at sales, but when she made these sales, somehow these people were able to, I don't know how they're able to legally steal her money. Yeah, I don't like for people to be able to legally steal your money. That has to be illegal. If you made the sale, how can they take your money? That's like working 40 hours a week and they don't pay you. Then it seems like you should be able to go to court, not court, but go to and you wouldn't have to pay anything. What are those places where you're not being compensated for your work and you can sue those people and they will have to pay you? So I don't understand how sales work, how she was able to make a deal and she was supposed to get $1,000 and somehow this company stole it from her and they don't have to do anything about it. She just out of money. I don't understand sales. But I want to say this though. It's hard. I feel like you need a skill, because I learned this in 2021, 2022. It's hard to just get a regular job. I'm gonna tell you something. It's very hard to get a regular job. And around that time, I saw all these places that kept saying we're hiring. Okay. Now, for a while, I was able to deliver food because I was between Palm Desert and then I moved to Fontana. And even in Fontana, I was able to make some kind of money doing Lyft and doing and delivering stuff, delivering food. But afterwards, I didn't have a car. Okay, it happened one time while I got real sick. I went to the hospital and got real sick. Around April 2022, I got real sick. When my blood, something happened where I just kept feeling so tired that I couldn't even walk from my car to the front door without feeling so out of breath. And that's when I went to the emergency room. And I went to the emergency room, and that's when I had to stay there for about a week, right? And so that car had to go because I was renting that car from somebody on, I forget, it's or something. But you rent cars when people rent out their car, and that's what I was doing. And so I had to send that car back, and I didn't have a car. And so what happened was it makes it a lot harder when you don't have a car to kind of get a job. But I was still walking around, getting a job, looking and stuff. And I'm gonna tell you, you couldn't go into these places looking for a job and they hire you. I couldn't. I don't care how many times it said that we're hiring. A lot of times they go tell you to go apply online. And sometimes they're not hiring. There was a lot of people that told me when I was driving Lyft, people would tell me those folks, they're not really hiring. You see now hiring signs everywhere, but those folks are not really hiring. And now this is in California. I lived in Fontana around this time. Okay, but I wasn't willing to just work in Fontana. I was able, as long as I was able, whatever bus was going to take me and I can take the bus back home, that was fine. That I would be able to do it. Okay, so I ended up having to go to a temp agency because the guy was threatening to put me on, have a place to live. So the guy was saying, look, you have like a couple of days to find yourself a job, And so I said, okay, I keep looking. I said, I'm gonna have to go to the temp agency. And so the temp agency found me a job. It was like at this warehouse that they make plastics for healthcare facilities. So they like make plastic bottles and plastic tops and all kind of stuff like that for healthcare facilities. And so we had to be clean. We had to wear gloves and wear gowns and our shoes. We had to wear the shoe covers and all that stuff. And And let me tell you something. I did not have money to catch a bus because even when you catch a bus, you need money. I had zero money in my, like I had nothing. I walked 8 miles from Fontana to this job that like the closest job they could find me was in Rancho Cucamonga, which, you know, what was it? It was that job was 8 miles away from where I was staying. And I had to walk, I think, for the first, I want to say, I don't know if it was the first week, I don't know, but I had to walk. And it was hard because I would have to start early in the morning because I walked 8 miles. Well, I would walk up there. Yeah, I didn't have money. I don't know how I did it. I think I did the first couple of days having to walk, and then afterwards I was able to catch a bus to get back, so I don't have to walk so much. But anyway, and then after like a month or so, after a couple of months, I think after maybe a month, you know, they let me go because that's how those temp agencies do. It's not a guaranteed job. They will hire you, but then they'll let you go. And I'm gonna get to brown women. Sometimes as when you are a brown woman, and sometimes like everybody in there was for the most part Mexican, right? Everybody in there was Mexican, okay? And so sometimes they just choose to let you go. Okay, it's like, you know, that's how it is. But I had a license to practice occupational therapy. So my thing is, I needed something temporarily because I still had my license to practice occupational therapy. When they let me go, I went to another location. I had to find another location, and the shift I had to, it started hard for me to get a bus to take me out there. And it was further than Cucamonga, so I could not walk out there. And I paid a taxi one time, and they charged me so much to get a taxi or Uber. It cost so much, and I didn't have the money to pay. That's why I wanted to get into learning how to teleport, so I won't have these kind of problems, you know. But yeah, so I had a little bit of money left, okay, and then finally I went through a travel agency to get a job for occupational therapy. My phone does this. I hope it didn't. I hope my phone wasn't. I had my head turned, so I hope my phone didn't cut me off. I don't know how long I was talking. I happened to look right back over and it says reconnecting. So I had my face turned. I hope it wasn't reconnecting for too long while I was talking. So anyway, I was talking about how I had to go through temp jobs and stuff like that, and it was hard with transportation because I didn't have a car, and they could not find jobs that was close, that was in a city that I lived in. It was always somewhere 8 miles or more away where the bus wouldn't even make it, and then the hours that I had to work was hard. But anyway, I said to say when I got my travel assignment and I was assigned to the city that I'm in right now, and I'm still here. I said that to say that it's hard. It's really hard to just get jobs. It's really, really hard to just get jobs. It's almost like you need a skill. And it's fine to get jobs temporarily. Like this person that was doing this live, people say, well, why don't you work at Walmart? Why don't you work at McDonald's? Why don't you work at Target? And that's fine to me. If you can get that kind of job, you got to do what you can in a moment. But I'm telling you, like I was at this warehouse place for a month and they said, okay, you got to go. Not because I was doing a bad job. They said, the people said, you did a great job. They said that you're a hard worker. Okay. And I think, I'm not going to compare myself to anybody else over there because this boss that we had, everybody had to work. You cannot, he will not watch you sit around and do nothing. So everybody was a hard worker. Nobody was lazy over there. Let me say that. But they said I was a hard worker, but and so them letting me go, I won't say it was random. I think they were more looking out for their own kind, but that's just how it is. This is what's happening. This is what happens when you have a group of people that stick together, and then you have you on your own because brown people don't stick together, and brown people don't like each other, and so now you're at the mercy of somebody else that's white or Mexican or Asian or whatever to help you. And that's just the bottom line. Brown people don't stick together, and that's why I don't have anything to do with that community. I do not have anything to do with a community that does not that does not unify. Okay, but he was looking out for his own. I wasn't but at the same time, I knew that I had an occupational therapy license, and all I had to do was get a job in occupational therapy, and I was willing to do what I had to do to travel back and forth. So I was like, a lot of these people I get, they don't have the certification and the license and the degrees that I have. And so I don't want to hold them back. This is probably where they have to work, because they don't have anything else to take them anywhere else, right? I actually had a license, and I still have a license in occupational therapy. I said, as long as I can just work until I get this job in occupational therapy, then I'm fine. I don't want to hold anybody else back that can't do anything else better. I don't want to hold them back from getting this. And that's exactly what happened. And so I wasn't fired. They just said that they had to let me go, right? I wasn't fired. It's like, well, I don't know what you call it. They didn't find nothing wrong with me. I wasn't fired. They just said they had to let somebody go, And so, I say that to say that just looking for a regular job is very hard. It's not easy. And a lot of these people have now hiring on their buildings, and they're not hiring. They just put that there, but they're not really hiring. And this is what I'm talking about to get a skill. Now, I have a license in occupational therapy, right? But I also might need to get a license as a dog trainer. Maybe I need to get a license as a dog trainer. Maybe I need to get a license as a fitness trainer. Maybe I need to get a license as even as a CNA. Even as a CNA. I don't care if he's like, I don't want to write nobody butt. Well, I don't like it either. But if you need something, and some CNAs are able to live in people's houses, right? So like some CNAs, like if they don't have a place to stay, and you're able to you've been a CNA, you've been licensed for a long time, been practicing, and you don't have a place to stay, you can, as long as you take care of somebody else, you can stay in their house until you get yourself on your feet. You have room and board, everything is paid for. You can even drive their car, right? And you listen, but it's really hard to just go out and get a job. It's really hard to just randomly go get a job. It's like, I need a job that requires you to have a skill, because if you just randomly go out to try to go get a job, that's hard. Trust me, it's hard to get a job. And so after I went through that, I just, whenever I heard people say get a job, I was like, it's not easy just to go out and get a job. I realized that you need a skill. My experience, I realized that it needs to be attached to a skill. Even if it's nursing, I don't care what it is, it needs to be attached to a specific type of certification. Somewhere where you have to go and get certified in it. That way, random folks just don't walk in. Because when you have something where you got certified in it, or you went to school for it, you're not going to have hundreds of thousands of people trying to apply for that same job. It's something that not just anybody can go and apply for. And so with occupational therapy, sometimes they need those, or just physical therapy, or even nursing. Sometimes those positions are in such high demand because a lot of folks are not applying to work at certain places where it's a lot easier to get those jobs because they really, really need it. But when you're just randomly going into Target, you're randomly going into Walmart, and let me tell you something about places like Walmart, Target, they want you to have experience. They want you to, I already have like 20 years of experience working, but as an occupational therapist. But I worked at CVS in high school, and a little bit after I graduated high school. And I worked in these warehouses and stuff like that. So I worked in other places besides but my most work experience comes from the healthcare occupational therapy. And so, yeah, I want to say that. But I have to say, I don't understand something don't sound right to me that why how it was so easy for this person to steal this money. That sounds crazy to me, and I need to understand sales better, because had you been working a regular 40-hour job and somebody refused to pay you after your work that you put in, you can go and sue them, and you don't have to pay. Like, you don't have to pay the lawyer or whoever, and you can go sue and get your money, and then they have to pay you for each day that you had to wait for your money to come to you. They have to pay you for that too. So I've never been in sales. I don't know how that works. The closest I've been to sales is 5 links, trying to do that doggone multi-level marketing, and that didn't last long. I quickly saw that wasn't going to work out for me. That was years ago. Like, that was in probably 2000 and what? Like 2012, 2014. I quickly saw that wasn't going to work out for me. Okay, it worked out for somebody, other people, but it didn't work out for me. But anyway, yeah, I just felt like discussing that right quick. But it's not to make excuses for anybody else, because I don't know what works for other people. You know, I had a heck of a time when it just came to trying to look for regular jobs. I had a heck of a time, but I'm going to say this too. When I would try to go into any kind of skilled nursing facility, that miles away. Okay, so I had to get whatever money I had to. I had to get the Amtrak to this location I'm in right now. Okay, I had to take the Amtrak, and then I had to take the bus to get to my location. And so it was crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, and sometimes just looking for a job and looking to get hired can be hard. And I feel like this. Brown women especially, this is why I feel like brown women, it's time to raise their frequency. Now, some brown women practice different type of spiritual practices where they don't have to worry about just getting completely in love frequency, because all these spiritual practices, they're going to be okay financially. Elon Musk will understand exactly what I'm talking about. I bet you Zuckerberg will understand exactly what I'm talking about, because when I asked the question, how did we get into apps, I asked it to myself, because I didn't ask that to nobody else, because I don't know if they know this yet. There are techies, but specific people that will understand what I'm saying. Consciousness have been pulled into apps. Ever since 2020, consciousness has been lowered enough to be pulled into laptops and apps. That means people's codes have been changed. And you don't have as much control over your life anymore. You don't have, it's like you've been pulled into the cyber world. People have, like, we've been pulled into the meta world. We've been pulled into a cyber world where we don't have control, and somebody else can bash all these buttons to mess with your life. Okay, they mash all these buttons. And I'm going to tell you something. You can try to make all the right decisions that you want to, and you can try to do everything that you think is right, and it turns on you. And you're like, I did everything right. Yeah. Because I realized this is spiritual. I realized that this is spiritual. And so you can do everything that you think is right. But the problem is that there's a lot that's working against us. It's some of us. And a lot of it is because this is why that right there shapes your reality, okay? You think it's not affecting you because you're not thinking about it, but what happens, the stuff that shows up is that the stuff that happened to you as a child is coming back as an adult, even though you're not thinking about it. It's still there. It doesn't matter if you don't think about it. It's still there, showing up in your life when certain things happen. And so that's a lot of stuff that I realized. And so I think some people might be going through a dark night of the soul. Some people might be going through a dark night of the soul. But other than that, yeah, like I said, I feel like there's no other choice for me to get in a love frequency. And the reason why there's no choice for me It's because in the inner world, in the astral world, I see too many who's against me. I see too many against me. And so it doesn't work for me to stay. It doesn't work for me to stay in duality. That's not going to work out. I feel like I'm getting grace right now, but I have to keep working on moving myself up higher. I have to keep working on getting into a higher vibration. I cannot stay stagnant. I cannot even, like, if I found somewhere where I'm happy, like, I just stop doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing because, like, no, I have to keep doing the work until I reach my destination. But anyway, that is it, and I will talk later. I just feel like talking about that for a little bit, and I'll talk later. Okay.